We're live. I am Jeffrey the Magic Fox Clark with DataFist at NinjaCon with one of the legends. May you please introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Richard Epcar. Myself,
Yes, just
I'm not
yourselves.
schizophrenic. I'm just one person. I do over 500 voices,
Yes.
but I'm still not schizophrenic. Anyway, should I mention some of the things
Yeah,
that I've
give
been
us
in?
some
Okay.
some of your favorites.
Well, most of the people would probably know me from Bateau as Ghost in the
Yeah.
Shell, and the Joker from Injustice, Gods Among Us, and Raiden from Mortal Kombat, and Ansem from Kingdom Hearts. Those are a few of the big ones, and I've done, as I said, over 500 characters
Yeah.
all through everywhere. I'm in tons of games, tons of anime, and tons of animation as well.
And you've done more than just voices. You're not a one-trick pony. I've also heard you direct.
Yeah, I direct a lot of stuff. I've directed. I just recently directed the new Lupin the Third series, which I played
Yeah.
Jigen in, and I directed Arkham Origins, the game, and play 3 characters in that.
Amazing.
And several. I mean, just there's tons and tons of titles that I've worked on as a director or a voice actor, and it's just a lot of fun. And on-camera stuff. I've got a new film coming out called Broken Spirits, which I have an on-camera part in. I
Yeah.
play a shady shaman in that, and Godric is the character's name. And so, lots of stuff going on all the time, all the time.
So when you first started voice acting, did you think that you would get to 500 voices?
I didn't really think about it. You just kind of put one foot in front of the other and just go. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I work all the time, so I'm very grateful for that. And like I say, I'm very very fortunate. I know it's a tough business, and people struggle a lot in this business. And so I'm very happy and fortunate to be working constantly. And I do a lot of conventions and travel all over the world. And so it's been really a lovely a lovely time. I've had a good time doing this stuff. So yeah, it's worked out well.
Yeah, you're quite the veteran, and it's amazing to see you and everything. So I want to know, are there any parts that you get that you turn down because you think you can't do them, or you know someone else who do it better?
No, that's not. I have never done that. But the only time I've actually turned down projects was, and it doesn't happen very often. But if the material is very questionable, there was one project where the show was basically about torturing women, and I said I don't want anything to do with that. That's
Yeah.
nothing I want to be a part of. So, it depends on what it is, and but generally, yeah, I just jump in with both feet and do my best.
So tell me the difference between directing a show and voice acting in it.
Okay, well, difference is that when you're acting in a show, you're kind of a piece of the puzzle, and you're creating the character, and you're working with the director. When you're directing, you're basically putting the puzzle together. So it's kind of the thing I like about directing is that you have the control, and you can it's your overview of what the show is going to be. So. I really enjoyed that because I'm a bit of a control freak, and I do enjoy doing the voices as well. And it's funny because I'll go through periods where I'm directing for a long period of time, and I'll really miss doing the voice work. And then I'll go through periods where I'm just doing the voice work for a while, and I go, I kind of miss directing. So I've been really lucky in that I get to do both, and it's balanced out pretty well for the most part. It's funny, a lot of the shows they bring me in to direct, and I say from the get-go, I say I'm not gonna do a part in this. I'm just gonna concentrate on the directing. I'm not gonna have any. And every time, invariably, they draw me in. It's like with Lupin the Third when we did the original series 12 years ago, the Red Jacket series.
Yeah.
We couldn't find Jigen. We couldn't find a character for Jigen. We had all the other characters cast, and I brought in like 200 people. They just didn't like anybody for the part. And one day we're just sitting there, and they said, "Richard, why don't you go in and read it? Let's see what it sounds like when you." So I went in and they said, "We found our Jigen." So I said, oh, "Okay, here I am." But I'm so glad that I got to play him because he's another one of my favorite characters, and he's been great, and I absolutely love playing him. So. It's been great.
That's amazing. We know you have Broken Spirits coming out, but are there
Yeah.
any animated projects that you wish that you can get produced or made, or you're working on right now?
Well, there's a project that my wife wrote, which is a really funny sitcom that we're going to be doing together on camera, which is like a webisode thing. It's really funny. And there's other projects that I've done. I'm actually I'm writing a book right now. I'm pretty much almost through with it. I'm just kind of fixing some stuff in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an audio book of it and take it to the conventions, and hopefully I can sell it at the conventions. It'll be a lot of fun because I've done some audio books, and
Nice.
and they're a lot of work. So I figure if I can make these guys rich, I might as well do my own book. So I've been as an actor, director, and I'm also a supervisor for DreamWorks and Universal Pictures.
Oh, wow.
I did a lot of traveling, and I was on planes a lot. And now with the conventions, I'm on planes. And I wrote basically 90% of the book on the plane. So
Nice.
it gave me something to do while I was traveling, and it's been great. And there's a lot of projects I'd love to be part of, and we'll see what happens. Things have been going great. I can't complain. I really can't.
So you work really hard, but every time I, see you, because I kind of have you on my friends list, and I also follow you because you do great work. Like
Thank
you work like ridiculously hard. I remember getting like a post from you, and it's like, look where I am, and it was like 5:56 in the morning. And you see the Warner's Tower, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, it's 5. How are you happy right now? So like, how do you keep your happiness going even though you're working so hard? What do you?
Oh, anytime I'm on the Warner's lot, I'm happy. I love those guys. I love working there, and they're great. And anything, I'd love to do anything for them. So yeah, no, I mean, I've just, like I said, I've just been super lucky, and I'm always busy and always doing stuff. Sometimes it gets to be much. Like this last Friday, it was crazy. In the morning I had a voice job. And then I had to do, my agent called me, there's an emergency thing. I had to record a thing within the hour.
Oh,
and
wow.
then they called me back and said, oh, they want you over at VoiceCaster right away for an audition. So I had to run. I mean, and that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes I go, oh, I've got a free day to putz around. And then I'll get calls and stuff. And all of a sudden it's utter chaos and crazy. And then the end of the day, you go, oh my God, what just happened? So there's been a lot of days like that where it's nuts. But, listen, I'm glad I'm on the A list, and I'm glad that people are
Yeah.
calling me to work, and I'm tickled pink, and I get to work with some of the greatest people in the world. So I'm very, very fortunate in that respect.
So, like, a lot of people are always wondering how to get into the industry, and I'm pretty sure you've been asked like a million times, but like I would still ask you.
So
what
there's
do
a
you think
million and one now.
Yeah. So, like, because let's not say how to get into the industry, because I always believe that to get into the industry, you just work hard and make friends. But what do you think people should be practicing? So when they do inevitably make it, what skills should they have?
Well, that's very good. The thing that people don't realize is, first of all, that voice acting is acting. So you have to become the best actor you can be. The second thing that people need to realize if they want to do this work is you have to be an incredible cold reader. Because the thing is, when we go in to do games and all this work, you don't get to see the script. So
Yeah.
you're seeing the script for the first time. So basically, you're being hired to cold read a performance. And that's really difficult for a lot of people. Even seasoned actors have a hard time doing that because, being a director, I've had to direct a lot of celebrities over the years, and they have a really hard time with it because they usually get the script, they get to work on the script, and they get to interact a little bit and rehearse, and you don't
Yeah.
get any of that when you do this stuff. So you've got to go in and you've got to knock it out of the park first time out of the, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so if I were to give anyone any advice, if you want to be a successful voice actor, you got to be really good at cold reading. And if you're not really good at it, then start working on it. Read out loud every day, for an hour a day. Do it every day, and just get to the point where you can just, read it without screwing up and make it sound good. And because really, that's so much of the job.
Yeah.
So that would be my big advice to you. And like I say, just become the best actor you can be, and don't go into that booth to audition until you're ready. Because if you are not ready and you go in there and you blow it, you'll never be asked back again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people make the mistake of, hey, I just want to do this. But the thing is that these guys have long memories and they remember people. And even if you were, you're crappy in the beginning and now you're really good, it's like they'll always remember that
that first
crappy
time.
audition. So you want to be competitive. You want to be really good. Now, that being said, you don't want to go in there and freak yourself out and be nervous or anything like that. You want to go in and just do the best job you can. The thing is, if you can just kind of get your nerves out of the way and don't think about it and just think about the character and just become that character, that would be the best thing.
Okay.
So That's my best advice to anyone.
That is amazing advice. Is there anything you want to say to the Congoers, the people, your fans, anything?
Well, I just love to say I've got the greatest fans in the world. They're just wonderful and loyal and terrific, and I love them all, and they're just great. And I just thank them for for their generosity and their well wishing. And there's been a few trolls along the way, but for the most part, they've been really supportive and really helpful. And I got to tell you, it makes a big difference, and I really appreciate that. So I love it, and I love going to conventions for that reason. I love meeting the fans. They usually know a lot more about the shows than I do, and it's just great to meet them and talk to them, and it's just wonderful. And for me, it's really a lot of fun because we get to talk about the work that I do and the shows that I'm working on in depth, and it's kind of fun to do that. So I really enjoy that.
Well, we thank you for being the voices of our childhood and a role model. Every time we see Epcar and when people figure out who your name is, they follow you indefinitely. So once again, we appreciate you. Thank you for doing past, present, and future games and stuff, and we hope to get you on the show again.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.